Hey, ladies and gentlemen. This could go both ways, so just remember that. Like when it comes to male or female, I mean, obviously the females in Western courts are prioritised because of the kids and everything. But look, what I'm going to say is it's just a matter of perspective. So before you start going, just think about it. Okay, so the idea of a prenup. So basically, you sign your assets to say that in the event of a breakup, that you keep your assets and they keep theirs, right? Doesn't necessarily work when you are poor. All right, I'm going to say why. Okay, because you might say, well, what? Okay, when you're poor and not rich, and chances are is that it's going to go 50-50 split. That's probably what would happen in the event of a bad relationship. The second point to that is, and you can look at it from both perspectives, right? In the event of a prenup, that basically presumptuously puts on the impression that, sorry, my nose is a bit snotty, that basically you don't have faith in that relationship and you don't trust that relationship, and your expectations are that at some point you two will split up and divide your assets. Okay, that does not build a good relationship. It doesn't build trust. It doesn't build, I mean, how can you build love when you start the relationship immediately by saying, I don't trust you, and at some point I think that you will break up with me or I will break up with you. So when you think about it, if you want to build a good relationship, there's a couple of things. You've got to be fully committed. There's got to be trust, and there's got to be faith in each other, right? So if you don't have that, then you're not going to build a good relationship, right? So yeah, and I mean, it can go either way, right? So it doesn't have to necessarily be towards the man gets the negative, right? So it could be the woman that gets the negative. But I'm just saying that when you put things in perspective, it's about faith, it's about love, and it's about trust. And if you really want to have a proper emotional connection with one another, you have to be committed to each other 100%. Because if you're not, these things are not going to happen. And it doesn't matter who you are or where you're from. If you're not committed, it's just not going to happen. That being said, yes, I understand. Now, I'm only talking about this from the Western side, not the rest of the world, because the Western side seems to be suffering it for some reason. But yeah, it seems to be that Western women go into a relationship with the idea of it being a business transaction of some kind to get into a financially better situation, not necessarily for love. In a lot of cases, that is the case. I would say 80%. 80% would probably be in that boat. So unfortunately, the 20% get a bad rap, but that's not saying that those 20% don't deserve happiness, just saying that it's unfortunate for them because they get tarred with the same feather as as the others, right? And in the case of the men, you got to look at it from the woman's perspective, where they will go, well, hang on, you're starting this with a prenup, so you're saying to me that you don't think I will have faith and trust in you, and I'm not committed to you, and either that will happen or you're not going to do the same, and then you're going to walk away and leave me with nothing, right? So when you start a relationship under those pretenses together, it's not going to probably work, is what I'm saying. So look, I believe everyone has the right to be happy and meet someone and be happy. Absolutely, I have, and I'm very grateful to God for that, right? I'm grateful that I've met Rona, and my life, it has meaning now. But I see a lot of other people out there and I feel for you. And look, it doesn't necessarily have to be about having kids or so, like, you know, if the girls are getting older and they're saying, look, hey, I wanted kids, but now it's getting to a point where that's not really the thing. It's like, okay, that's fine. But you still have a right to be happy, right? And you still have the right to meet someone and enjoy your life. So, look, all I will say is if you're going into a relationship, be committed, all right? The one thing I'm seeing a lot of the times from these Western relationships, and I'm talking like Western man, Western woman, blah, 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 all that stuff, is the lack of commitment, all right? And it seems to be both sides. I would definitely say it's both sides, right? It's not one-sided there. I know plenty of guys that are players, and I know plenty of women that are players. And it's sad because that is not happiness, right? That quick inertia of sexual gratification is not happiness. That is just the immediate effect. Like a relationship, a good relationship, you know, it takes about 6 months to settle. And if you don't have good communication, if you don't have true feelings for one another, it'll show in 6 months, right? So if that's what you want, if you really want to be happy, think about the commitment side and think about what it is that you're getting involved for. For the women, I would say stop looking at financial situations as the be-all and end-all of a relationship. I mean, if you look at the Asian side, like if you talk to the Asian community about it, they're not looking for that. They're looking for a good man or woman that loves them and has love and going to commit to them, and like it's totally different, right? So when you look at it from that perspective and understand why their relationships are lasting longer, that should tell you a lot. And I mean, look at it this way as well. Like, look in the Indian culture, they have a lot of the times they have the what do you call it? The preconceived wedding thing, prearranged wedding, and a lot of those wedding and marriages last all of time, for their life. And does it make you wonder why? It's because they're committed to that. They understand the situation. They understand it's not about money, it's about being happy. Money does not make you happy. You can have all the money in the world and still be absolutely miserable. Look at Elon Musk. Does he look like a happy person? Does he? Not really. Does Bill Gates look like a happy person? No. Do any of the people that base their lives around money, is that what makes them happy? No. It's the people they have in their life that love them and they love back. That's what makes them happy. All right? Now, I'm no genius on relationships. It's probably one of the last people you would ever think to talk to about relationships, but I'm not an idiot, and I've seen enough of the world, and I've seen enough of people to know what people lack and want. And most of it really comes down to wanting something you can't have and expecting perfection. Not understanding that everything is built over time. Okay? Perfection is not one thing that you just walk into and it's there. And, having that lifestyle you always wanted isn't built in 1 year. It takes 20, 30 years to build that lifestyle. From a combined effort with love. So just think about it like this. Things that are important is family and friends, having children, and having a happy life. You can have all those things without money, is what I'm saying. And for the guys out there that are really struggling, I'd just say passports are a thing, bro. Just saying that you don't have to keep your mind focused on things that aren't interested you in here, is what I'm saying. And if you're afraid, don't be, okay? Because if you're afraid to make the first step, you've already failed. If you want to succeed, don't be afraid to fail. Peace out, guys. Take it easy. Bye.